Okay, so I'm back again, and I am doing the full moon. I feel like this is just the collective energy right now. It doesn't necessarily have to be for full moon, but there is a full moon tonight. So if you do catch this video before the night is over, good for you. Okay, so I did go live, but I feel like it was just a lot of energy going on, and it kind of made me like stir my brain. So I came back and I kind of put things together so I can make sure I stay on track this time. Okay. And just starting out, I just want to say I use the Queen of the Moon Oracle deck, the Shit Happens deck, the Funky deck, the Love and Archetypes deck, and this, the Light Seers tarot cards. I think that's it. I'm not quite sure. And I will be using some references from the Hood Tarot, Hoodoo Tarot deck. Hoodoo Tarot deck, okay. But just starting out, the first few cards that I pulled, it was basically asking what's the energy, what's the issue right now, and the first card that came out was the beginning. So instead of going in order, I'm going to tie everything back into each other and make it come together, because going in order kind of throws me out. Okay, so there's a lot of new beginnings, especially with the new year being here. You'll be given like a chance, not necessarily a chance, because it doesn't matter if we're in the middle of the year or whatever season it is. Every day you wake up, every moment is a new second. So you have the choice to either do something new or to keep doing the same thing. Doesn't matter what time of year it is. It's just, okay, it's about will and choosing and choice and all of that good stuff. But anywho, okay, I feel like there's a lot of new beginnings here. People wanting to start, you know, maybe a new health routine, you know, just being more intentional with the things that you do in your life, and just being more mindful moving forward. You are really just, you know, trying to see things as it is and not the way you want it to seem, and just going through a whole the Death and Rebirth card here. I know most people get a little freaked out when they hear about the Death card, but it's not about literal death. I would never get on a reading and tell somebody that they're about to die. No, okay. But the Death and Rebirth card is about like literally letting old things die, the end of cycles, just moving and transitioning to a better things. Whatever it's the end of a relationship, end of a career, or you know, just like a whole lot of realizations. Where's that card at? This one, it says, I do everything. Unequal give and take, lazy, mooching, disrespect, blame game. This could include, I mean, this is for everybody, but the signs that's on here is the Aries, Capricorn, and Virgo. No, Libra. Aries, Capricorn, and Libra. And you just see, you know, she's basically kind of like yelling at him, you know, telling him basically whatever. And you know, it just says releasing toxic relationships, revelations, and endings. But it's just a lot of endings going on. You're just seeing what's no longer for you, and you're just really over it. You know, you want new things. You're seeing the possibilities of you know, life. Like, not that you didn't want before, but you know, as things had maybe arise or certain things came up, it kind of like threw you off your pivot. Like, you know, it kind of threw you off. Like, so you just been trying to, you know, get back to yourself. And even with this card here, it says at the bottom of the deck, it says time apart, boundaries, no contact. So it's just a need to, you know, make these certain boundaries within yourself. Tell yourself to, you know, have that discipline, that self-discipline, that self-trust, that self-confidence, that self-love, starting with self, you know, all of that. You're just seeing that you just need time apart. Like, it's no hard feelings. It's just a lot of things that you have to change. Like, you have to change your habits, and you need to change them. Like, you not need to change them fast, because everything is in divine timing, okay? This says everything. It is in divine time, you silly fucker. Okay, trust is here. Okay, you have to trust in the unknown. You have to trust in yourself. Be able to rely on your own intuition for be able to guide you on a daily basis, to where you don't have all these other inputs, you know, throwing you off your path and making you not see your vision, see your way of doing things, and not necessarily, you know, not just saying that you're living for everybody else, but you're just doing things solely based on what you feel is right for you. You're not doing no outside voices. So should I do this, or telling somebody, you know, something before you do it. Just do it, and then, you know, whatever comes after that doesn't mean just go make impulsive decisions and then just, you know, not give a fuck. But it's saying, you know, you have to step outside that box and be able to just, you know, be a fool in the situation, you know, really fall off that cliff, you know, really trust the divine. You know, she got her crystal here, she's just her wands, you know, just this whole bunch of like, you know, she's just ready to take a deep leap off and trust in the unknown. Okay, discover the meaning of shit. So it's like, you know, it's just time for you to really sit and find that peace within, or finding out what's causing you to not get that peace that you want, what's causing you not to get here. Or when you get here, that post I just posted, you know, when you meditating, you remember some bullshit. The bullshit is what you need to be writing down, asking your, like, write down, okay, this is why this keep getting in the middle of my meditations. I'm ready to beat this bitch up, whatever, okay? You gotta write it down, get it out. Because you're just keeping it in, or, you know, it don't even have to be about beating nobody up. It could be about, you know, past trauma, or past things that have hurt you, past things that bother you, past things that make you angry. And it's about releasing, you know. Sometimes you just don't be ready to talk to people about certain things. You don't want to talk to them, okay? You don't even want to think about it, so why would you want to talk to somebody and bring it up? But if you take the time out to know that, you know, putting this time into yourself and figuring out what it is that's stopping you from getting this sense of peace and this sense of clarity that you need to be able to move forward, then you will understand the importance, and just knowing that, you know, like, I have to face all this shit. Like, I'm gonna live with it. You can't forget about nothing that has a traumatic I would say forget. I mean, you can't forget about it because it's going to live with you forever. But so it's about coming to better terms and just, you know, accepting what it is and how it happened. Like, it doesn't matter however it played out. It don't matter if you won, you lost, whatever. I don't even feel like losses are a real thing. It's either a lesson or you win. Either you win or you learn something, okay? It is what it is. Either you learn something in a way that you wish you wouldn't have learned it, or you learn and you win. So it's just about, you know, constantly just picking yourself back up and, you know, knowing that the seasons will always change. You know, it's going to always be a cycle of life. Even with just the death and rebirth card here, it's just talking to you about those life cycles and, you know, transformations and letting things go. So it's really just time to just let go of everything. You know, it's just telling you to try it and see what happens. Even if you have to let go of some people that you don't necessarily want to let go of, or some habits that you may not even see that may be affecting you. So that's why it's important to, you know, just ask to be shown the way, shown these things, or just, you know, the things that you may not be aware of, as God to reveal them to you, so you'll be able to know what they are, so that you'll be able to acknowledge them and work on them. Or whatever you can work on, you work on, and whatever you can was out of your control, nothing you can do. So like, that's something that happened in the past, or something that's not even here yet. Like, you can't control that. So it's like, or being focused on what somebody else did or what they didn't do and all those things. It's like, it's just time to just let all of that go, because that's gonna leave you in a constant cycle of feeling like things are just not abundant for you, or feeling like you can't have your way, or that you just bad stuff always happens to you, and you know that that's not the life that you're supposed to live. You know that things are supposed to be abundant for you. You know you're supposed to be happy for you. You know that you're supposed to be here to be successful and happy and fulfilled, and you know loved on, and be able to give love. Like, you don't want to be a heartless person. Like, that's not why you came here. So it's like, you know, that's why it still hurts you to make yourself not care about certain things that you care about, because Spirit is saying, you know, it's okay to care about it. It's just, if you can't care about it for too long, just know when to let it go. So knowing and understanding when it's time to let go, or when it's time to move on from certain things, whether if it's a job, career, whatever it is. If it's time to let go, then it's time to let go, because trying to hold on to it and, you know, keeping that grasp on it will just make you, it will just make you feel like you're dying on the inside. Like, you will feel trapped. You just feel like you just can't do much. Like, you feel like you just trapped, okay? And it's just like, you know, it sounds like a fucking nightmare. That's what this card says. It sounds like a fucking nightmare, you know, going through the motions and being able to process everything that you've been going through, or, you know, everything that you have gone through in your life. But in order to really, like, move forward and have that peace and fully accept this new beginning that's here, you're gonna have to face all of that. Like, no matter how, whichever way you put it, it's going to be here. The new beginnings and the peace will not be able to come in and fully, you know, do its work, its magic, if you still worried about who did this or who do that, or who did that, or just keeping yourself feeling like the best has already come, and there's not more out there. Like, you know, don't keep yourself locked in. Like, it's okay, fall off that damn cliff, fall off. Okay, the universe got you. It's about having the trust and the faith, okay? Because if you have the trust, then you can have the faith. But if you don't have the trust with yourself first, then how can you have the faith, okay? It's about having that before you, even when you have that trust in God, you know, I feel like, you know, having that trust in yourself is important first. Because if you don't have that trust with yourself first, then how can you trust yourself to trust God? How? Like, and Five of Wands is here. You know, Five of Wands is, it's all about Wands is all about passion. It's the fire element, energetic. Just speaking on fire in general, it could be unpredictable. It can damage things like house fires or forest fires. But, you know, it's also an essential. You need it to stay warm. You need it to cook meals and build tools and everything. So it's about directing that energy to where it could be productive. Because if you look at all these people, it doesn't really, like, what are they doing? It don't really look like much. Like, it's like, what am I looking at? What do you want me to see here? And I feel like that's the energy of the collective. Like, everybody else is off doing their own thing. Nobody is coming together, you know? And then you got this one person at the top just lighting shit on fire, finna fuck everything up. So it's like, there's a lot of conflicting just a lot of conflicts here, you know. People not really knowing how to come together, and even though y'all have maybe different values or point of views, still being able to agree to disagree. It's like, if you're not what I'm on, then fuck you. Or, and not just, instead of saying fuck you, just like pulling back and, you know, just still doing what you're gonna do, but just pulling back and knowing that at the end of the day, you know, you still have to be connected in a way. And people, a lot of times today, just to put in perspective as to why I'm bringing this up, is like, you see people complaining about not having the support that they need, and that's because this is exactly what we're doing as a community. Okay, everybody off doing their own thing. Nobody want to help build anything together so we can help build a bigger foundation so everyone can eat. It's like, it's either you or me, bitch. And if I'm gonna kick your, it's gonna be me. Like, you know, like, what do you expect? So I feel like that just calls for unnecessary competition and, you know, arguments and drama and just chaos, because there's lack of unity. Okay, there's a big lack of unity, and just knowing how to embrace, you know, the unknown. Because I'm referring back to the Hoodoo deck. In this book, it will be the 5 of Sticks, and that just, you know, calls and say, that's not the card that I was trying to refer back to. It was the Death card of this deck, and it's called the Ancestors deck. And it's just, you know, trusting in the unknown. Basically the same thing, trusting in the unknown, knowing that everything must come to an end at one point, and once that end comes, a new beginning is already on the way. And embracing who you are as a person, and also embracing and getting to know who your ancestors were. Like, who were your ancestors? What do they mean to you? Do you feel connected to them? If so, like how? Or, you know, just doing history on them if you can. Do some research and just see how y'all may have been alike, how y'all may have been different. And, you know, just learning about your history can help you build a better foundation for yourself, because you have a sense of knowing where you come from. So, and as you know, it's not all about where you come from, it's about where you're going. But, you know, having a foundation of knowing that, okay, I came from this, I came from welders or gardeners or hairdressers or teachers, and you may just so happen to be on that same path. It kind of gives you like a sense of like, okay, they was doing it and now I'm doing it, so what it mean? Or just things of that nature. Looking at things from a more optimistic perspective, rather than just like, oh, I'm honoring the dead and trying to figure. It's not about that. It's just, even in Black history, growing up, all we know is like the basic, you know, activists who played a big part in the civil rights movement and during that time, and a little bit after, but it doesn't really go deep into detail about where we really come from and the things and abilities that we do have, and the wisdom and the characteristics and the talents and, you know, things of that nature that have got us through all these hard times, and picking each other up and trusting in the divine, and knowing that every season will come around and go, and, you know, praying and staying faithful and accepting peace and new beginnings in your life, and just letting everything go. You know, this may require it says period year, but it you know, may require you to, you know, just be to yourself, some celibacy, you know, refraining from just, because when I say, you know, fuck the liquor, fuck the alcohol, all these other things, it's not me just so saying never have a good time, never smoke, or never drink alcohol, because, okay, you're gonna want to drink, like, you know, you're gonna want to, who don't want to, you know, get a little lit, get a little smash, get a little lit, like, who don't want to do that? But it's about having a balance with things and still being fit, okay? still being fit. Fitness is here. Okay, we're talking about health. Which card? Beginnings talk about health. Okay, beginnings talk about health because you want to start new things and start these new health journeys, but just having the courage and the push to do that, it's like kind of in a gray area. You kind of want to do it, and you like, bro, fuck it, I'm gonna die one day, type of thing. But you can't do that. Okay, we can't do that. Okay, we are here to create a new vibration of things. Okay, create a new atmosphere, a new environment for us to live in. We have to be our own creators. We are creators. Okay, we are our ancestors. We are rebirth. Okay, we are reincarnation. We are all these things. So we must embody them and embrace them. Embrace all the adversities and all the struggles that we have gotten through, that we've, still may be facing. It's just kind of like knowing that, okay, I still have more success ahead of me. Ain't no way I was just supposed to come here and live like this. Like, no, hell no. I'm finna do what I gotta do. I'm finna call on here. Call on, okay? It say ask for help, you cute little shit. Cooperation. Just cooperating with others and doing things as a more of a collective, working together, knowing that, we need each other. Like, you can't have a successful business without people in your neighborhood. Or not necessarily people in your neighborhood, but without, let me slow down. Okay? In order to have a successful business, you have to have customers. So if we're not working together and we're not really trying to see each other win, and we're everybody trying to get to the top, it don't matter who get there first, but if I get there first, I'm gonna burn all this shit down, type of thing. Or if I get it first, it's all mine, type of thing. Then it will be hard for us to build a foundation, the foundation that we need in order to get us through these things that we have ahead of us. Being that we don't know what's to come. So we need to make sure that we're staying together and staying, staying connected and putting in, the dedication and the effort into listening to how your peers feel, listening to how your friends feel, listening to, their point of view, or listening to how they feel on certain things and actually doing something about it, like being more productive with how y'all go about situations and not just immediately going to 1,000 or immediately going to 10 or immediately turning to violence, because all of that, which is, keep your peace and abundance away from you. It's going to keep you from seeing things as it is. It's going to keep you weary, keep you, just not seeing things how it's supposed to be, okay? It would just have you everywhere. And knowing that these transformations is here to allow you to expand your consciousness and to allow you to see things as it is and not how you want it to be. And it may just be the end of a relationship or a shift in your career or any old beliefs, and you just realizing that your old plan is outdated, and you may just need to go back to the drawing board. You may need to go back and do things differently. You may need to step outside the box and just be creative and do something differently that you might not used to doing, or you may not usually want to do it at first. You may be hesitant to do it, but Spirit tells you now it's just the time to go. Okay, go, but before you go, make sure that you're still releasing these things on the way. So once you start accepting all this abundance in your life, you have different responsibilities and new things to do and new positions and responsibilities to uphold. It's important what's going on with that. See, but you know, it's just all about, you know, putting in the time and, you know, giving yourself time to fully think about yourself, and you needing that distance to figure out what your talents and your abilities are, so you can put it in that dedication and, you know, map out a plan and get things active. So it says active, game, training, hobby. So you might have to go through some training. You might have to go through just a lot of changes, okay? And you will fucking conquer this, okay? You will get through this. If you feeling alone, feel like you can't have nobody to call on God, okay? Call on the divine, call on the Most High, call on your Igungun, call on your ancestors, ask them to give you guidance, give you, you know, give you a sign that you are never alone. And you just have to say these things literally. It's not just think them, even though they hear your thoughts. So it's important to keep your thoughts pure and everything like that, because that's a manifestation too. You're manifesting when you're thinking. So if you're thinking about bullshit, you know, you're gonna get caught up in some bullshit, okay? Eventually you're gonna get caught up in some bullshit. You're like, God damn, I was just thinking this shit was gonna happen. Why? Because if you think on something too long, it won't happen, okay? So, you know, it's just time to just take a step back before things get pushed forward for you, okay? Things are most definitely going to get pushed forward, but it's just being mindful about, you know, what are you doing now? Appreciating the now, and, you know, not feeling like what you have now is not enough for you to be fulfilled and happy and abundant. Like, what you have now is enough. You are enough. You're a whole. So anything, you know, any thoughts other than that needs to be destroyed. And you can use a little spray. Use a little spray to, you know, keep those bad vibes away. You can even put a little oil on, because, you know, I anointed myself before I did these videos. Or just having your crystals, okay? These are not any protection crystals, so I think smoky quartz may have. No, don't quote me on that. I don't know. Labradorite is good for transformations and restoring energy. Since we're talking about crystals, I'm pull out my crystal deck and give y'all some crystals to go get, okay?